Welcome to Counterpoint. I'm Tanya Allen. Today we are going to park all the negative news and all the COVID worries and the hustle and the bustle and change gears. We're going to focus on Christmas and the charities across Canada which are working so hard to make sure that everyone has a full belly, that every child has a gift to open, and that everyone has a Merry Christmas. So starting us off, we're going to be speaking with Kenny Zakem from a PEI charity based in Prince Edward Island called Santa's Angels. Hi, Kenny. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Well, thank you for having me.
So tell our viewers, what is Santa's Angels?
Well, Santa's Angels is a charity. We're 100% volunteer driven, and we go out on Christmas Day. Santa and a bunch of elves. We have 17 different crews this year. So we'll go across the island and distribute toys and gifts and food and needs packages and things to people in need, and we want to have we may not have a Christmas without us, so we try and get to people who are in need.
And what kind of things would you deliver, and what kind of things would you provide to these families?
Well, actually, what we do is we open a form and we say what we get some information, who they are and stuff, and their phone number, and we'll phone them up and we'll ask them, okay, how many kids are at home, what are their ages, what do they like, what are they into, and stuff like that. So. The thing is, we're out on Christmas Day itself, so Santa's there, and the kids get to see Santa, and so we'll get a list of things that they need. If they're into LOL dolls or into dinosaurs, we do toy drives, so hopefully they'll come in from our toy drives.
Right.
If not, we get monetary donations, we'll go out and buy them. And then we also have food and a household goods needs box as well. We deliver that as well.
That's wonderful. A lot of charities, maybe due to the sheer size and volume, sometimes it's hard to tackle on Christmas Day. They'll go, a couple weeks before, a few days before. Your charity does all this on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, we feel, and that's why we want to be a bit different. And because Christmas Day can be lonely for some. Mm-hmm. They may get their things beforehand, and to show up on Christmas Day, that's when Santa's there. So that's our whole thing, right?
Right, and we, maybe our viewers need to be reminded. We all could use this reminder. But Christmas season doesn't start till actually Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, I suppose. Christmas Day is the first day of Christmas, and it lasts all the way through to January. So that really is the kickoff. So you're sending these families on their Christmas way very, very well equipped and right off with a bang.
Yeah,
that's wonderful. And so you said how many teams are involved in making these deliveries?
We have 17 teams this year. It varies from year to year, but it's been growing. So this year it's 17, and we spread across the island. Our goal is to be done by lunchtime because we know people have families and they want to get to their family events as well. So
wow.
That's why we try and make it as many hands make light work. So to get this done, accomplished quickly, we try and do it by noontime. So that's why we have so many groups and stuff. So.
And where did the idea of this charity come from?
Well, it started in 2004. It's a long story, but I had a restaurant, and then I had a food drive where you would bring food, and in return, Santa would be there in his sleigh, and he would give the kids toys. So all these toys were left over, and through all this, I met a gentleman who looked like Santa, and the big beard, the real Santa. I really wanted a real feel on Christmas Day.
Yes.
So I said, and he missed being the Santa giving out the toys for that event, and I felt kind of bad. I said, "Listen, Don, you want to be Santa? I'd love for you to be Santa. Let's go Christmas Day and deliver some toys." Don lived in an area that he knew were maybe that needed it more than others. So I said, "Let's go, Don. Let's do it." And then our priest from our church, Father Stephen Allen, joined us. And it started from there, the three of us. Actually, Father Stephen's son joined us as well. So it was four of us. And now we have over a couple hundred people who joined in. So it just grew year after year. We got more Santas and more people involved. And we saw it could work. And the community was great at helping us achieve this goal. So without them, we couldn't do it. So.
Wonderful, wonderful. And we only have 30 seconds left. How has COVID impacted your delivery?
Well, it's limited to what the contact we can make. We used to go right in the house, and we used to Santa would visit the kid, and then kid or didn't have to be kids, but most of the time that's our goal is to get to the kids who want to see Santa.
Yes.
And he will get to interact with the kids, and this way we can't go in the house, but we can do a drop and go.
Okay.
So it's the next best thing we can do. We have to keep our distance. CPHO gives us guidelines to follow, and we follow them.
Okay, well, we only have a
And
few
do the best
seconds
we
left.
can.
If people want to donate or make a financial contribution, what's your website?
santasangels.ca. You can go there and do a safe PayPal monetary donation.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All the best on Christmas Day to you and your
Thank
teams.
you. Merry Christmas to
Merry
you.
Christmas.
Thank you.
Welcome back. And now we're going to shift gears and go to Ottawa, where there's a charity called Smiles for Seniors based out of Ottawa. And joining me now to share what their charity does is Saumya and Anirudh Tiku. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, so maybe Saumya, you want to start. How or what exactly does your charity do?
Yeah, so Smiles for Seniors is a virtual volunteer organization that my brother and I started. So we basically collect submissions that our volunteers create, and these submissions include anything from cards to letters, art pieces, even videos of musical performances, and we send them virtually to our partnered retirement facilities to support and spread joy and positivity to the isolated seniors in retirement homes, as the pandemic has really been harsh for them, especially since they haven't been able to see their loved ones. So we've been doing that to support them.
And Anirudh, when did your charities get off the ground?
Yeah, actually, it started off just a couple months after the pandemic, I think around in June.
Okay.
And really, the idea kind of came together when I initially through high school volunteered at my local retirement home. And my sister had done some similar volunteering online right after the pandemic. And we basically thought that why not have a similar organization for Ottawa? And really that's how we started around in June of the pandemic.
Well, I think that's wonderful. Like, you saw a need, and clearly we all remember those images of seniors pressed up against the glass, trying to see their loved ones through the window panes. You saw a need that really there were smiles needed for seniors, because usually a lot of the LTC residents are seniors, and you saw a need and you kind of filled that need. So it was just something that the two of you wanted to start. And then now, how big has this charity grown?
Yeah, our organization has grown a lot in the past year, especially. We have over 1,500 volunteers now throughout the world, which is amazing. And we never would have imagined that it would grow this much when we initially started.
So when you say throughout the world, so this is not only caring for seniors in Ottawa or in Canada, you're going internationally.
So far, our retirement homes and long-term care facilities are in Ottawa, but we have volunteers participating from throughout the world, several different countries, actually.
Oh, wow. And so, for example, if there's a violinist in Russia, for example, how would they participate?
Yeah, so they basically just can record a video of them filming. We have a bit of a process online, and it's accessible to anyone. So they record a video and they send it in to us, and we basically just forward it on to our retirement facilities. So everything's virtual, which is why anyone can participate.
Oh, wow, that's so neat. So, Anirudh, tell us about some of the more unique or very interesting volunteer submissions.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of different unique ones. We've seen people discuss, poetry, books, and interesting articles they've read. Of course, a lot of the written submissions are mostly, asking seniors about their day, how personally, kind of some people decide to go, in a more writing a more journal route. But people have given some very extravagant musical performances as well. So sometimes, not just for the seniors, it's interesting for us to see, and we get to enjoy the performances as well.
Oh, wow.
So, it's been great.
Now, do you, Anirudh, have a special focus as we're heading into Christmas? Is there a special focus or drive during the Christmas time?
Yeah, absolutely. During generally, any holiday, we tend to also kind of promote receiving more, holiday type submissions, and we receive a lot more as well, as people tend to, get similar ideas relating towards whatever event is coming up. So especially right now, we're receiving a huge influx of emails and submissions to deal with.
Okay, well, hopefully they'll get there in time. Will your charity continue after the real normal returns?
Yeah, we plan on continuing because we never would have imagined that we could have been so successful. And since it has been so successful, we plan on continuing for as long as we can, really. And it's been amazing how we can build such a strong community virtually, and we see no reason to stop.
And what's the website so people can find out more information?
Yeah, it's www.smilesforseniors.wixsite.com.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you both so much, and best wishes to you.
Thank you.
So much
Thank
for
you for having us.
Welcome back. We're going to travel now from Ottawa to the Lower Mainland in British Columbia, and we're going to be joined by Chris Bayliss, Executive Director of a BC-based charity called the Lower Mainland Christmas Bureau. Thank you so much for joining me today, Chris.
Thanks for having us, Tanya.
Well, thanks for being here. So tell us a little bit about your charity and what you do.
Well, the Lower Mainland Christmas Bureau was established in 1930 as kind of the Vancouver Christmas Bureau. And over the years, it's morphed into the Lower Mainland Christmas Bureau. But really, we have about 3 different roles in British Columbia. We serve families in Vancouver directly. We do about 1,000 families a year. We support 14 to 16 local Christmas bureaus, which our definition of local is from Nanaimo to about Hope, sometimes other places. And then we do a bunch of other, I call them smaller agencies. We've done some historical stuff. We work with some Indigenous preschools and some other community partners around the Lower Mainland, because we're not just at Christmas, and we do get stuff all year round.
Yes. So it started out as probably being exclusively Christmas, but now the need is so great you're all year round.
Well, we've been all year round for a number of years, but we've really, in the last couple of years, our regional role has expanded greatly. In our provincial role, we also administer the Empty Stocking Fund, which is an historical province newspaper fund. So we administer that to 26 other agencies. So we have a regional role, a city role, we have a provincial role now.
And what did your charity do historically? Like, what kind of practical things did it do? And now, how has it changed?
Well, the last couple of years we've had, of course, we all had the COVID shutdown. So we had to relearn how to do our business 100% because product and toys they come in randomly. And it's quite a process to get them from a random bag of toys to boxed, inventoried, insured, and then shipped to all the community partners. We start shipping in November because toys can't just come in on December 20th and be spread across the whole province. So it's quite a process, actually.
My goodness. And when do you have to start in the year to get going and get gearing up? Like, do you take a January, February off and then hit the ground running in March?
No.
Well, that's just for your Christmas drive, obviously, is probably the busier time. But I know you do all round year.
About 90% of our donations come in November and December. And last year, because of COVID, we didn't work with that many bureaus directly, but a number of our major historical events didn't happen. So we were down 25,000 toys we made the decision that we're going to help every bureau that needed our help, every family that came to the door. So we went pretty hard last year to make sure we did the best we could with what we had, knowing full well it was going to impact us this year. And of course, this year in BC, we've had a small flooding problem.
Yes.
So five of the bureaus we deal with were either impacted directly by flooding or by access issues. So we shipped our last bureau last week, which is quite late for us, actually.
Yeah, that's interesting you mentioned the flooding, and obviously we've been, we're based here in Ontario. We've been watching from a distance at the devastation, at the impact. So what have you been dealing with the flooding? Has there been increased demand? I think you mentioned there were road access issues?
There's been a lot of access issues, and we also had the big fire in Lytton, which took out the entire town in August.
Yes.
And from that, we've had mudslides, of course, and we've had this torrential rains. So a number of bureaus were physically unable to continue or had delayed greatly because, honestly, to haul the toys to where they got to go, some of the other agencies were using helicopters to get stuff in. Now, we're not that extreme because we found a way to do it, but so COVID last year impacted us terribly. This year, the floods have really slowed it down. And the other piece is a lot of our traditional events aren't happening this year, just because a lot of businesses aren't running yet.
Like, what kind of events do you normally have that aren't able to continue on?
Our flagship event is the Christmas Wish Breakfast at the Pan Pacific Hotel in Vancouver. It brings in 15 to 20,000 toys in 3 hours. It's right downtown at a 5-star hotel, and the quantity and quality of the toys is mind-blowing. Wow. So you take that out of the equation, and that's a lot of our nicer toys. Last year we didn't have, probably 5 or 7 events didn't go. So what's funny about this year is now we're slowly losing some of the restrictions. So all of a sudden, the last 3 weeks, companies are phoning us, hey, can we do a toy drive like we did 2 years ago? Can we do this major event? Well, we're still serving families, so we're still working under some COVID rules. So we're using way less volunteers, and volunteers are the key to our success. So in a normal year, we have about 2,000 person hours in December of volunteers working with us.
My goodness.
Last year was 100. Last year was 170 hours total.
Okay, now if someone wants to donate or find out more information, where can they go?
On our website, lmcb.ca.
Well, those are just a sample of some of the hundreds and hundreds of charities coast to coast who really give it their all at this Christmas season to make sure, as I said, there's not a hungry belly, that there is not a child without a gift to open on Christmas Day. And that really is what Christmas is, Christ coming to the world as a gift to all of us. So as my gift to you, I'd like to leave you with this final little segment, and I hope you enjoy it. Have a Merry Christmas.